place for it to go because once again, as we've come to find out, the Amite River is very important in draining water from all of these areas all the way into Lake Maurepas and eventually out in the Lake Pontchartrain, and that water is just sitting there. It's been very difficult from Ascension Parish on up.
Yeah, and
yeah.
Go ahead.
Well,
I know
I
your
just want to
family
add to
too,
that.
right?
Obviously, as you heard me mention, I attended high school in the Baton Rouge area. I've lived in Baton Rouge off and on all my life. I have many family members there. I can just tell you that I've had several relatives lose everything they've had. I got a cousin who lived in Prairieville, which is outside of Gonzales, if you're familiar with the Ascension Parish area. He lost his home. I have another cousin in the Baton Rouge proper, I guess area you would call it, the city limits of Baton Rouge. She lost her home, her and her husband. I have another cousin that lives in Bruley, Louisiana, lost their home. My writer, Gene Higginbotham, who's my top Saints writer, lost everything he had in his home. He's a sheriff's deputy, a Livingston Parish sheriff's deputy. He was actually injured trying to evacuate his family and put a big gash in his arm, had 15 stitches in his arm right now, so obviously he won't be writing any articles for me anytime soon.
Right.
I've literally had, in multiple, I can't even tell you how many people that I personally know, family members, friends, staff members on my website, who have all been affected. And obviously my thoughts and prayers go out to them, and I'll be flying into NOLA next weekend. I'm going down there to, I'm not going to cover Saints the rest of Metairie training camp as I originally planned because the Saints won't give me press credentials. But I will be there for all the games, the last two preseason games, and I will be there for the Raiders game, obviously, season opener for that as well. And so I will take the opportunity, of course, to go to Baton Rouge and maybe even lend a hand and see who I can help, get back on their feet. So it's just a terrible thing. And as you guys know, I was in Katrina personally. So, and a lot of these guys, the cousin in Prairieville, he was in Katrina. He was one of the people, as I was, that lost everything in Katrina. So he's lost everything twice now in a 10-year span. It's unfathomable. Mm. It's unfathomable. It's so unfair. Yeah. So unfair to have experienced it once and then 10 years later had to do it again. It's just unbelievable. So, but we just have to put our thoughts and our prayers behind them.
Yeah. And sorry to hear about that, Barry. And
yeah.
Professor, I know Auntie was evacuated. Is she back, or what's going on with her?
No, I have not been able to speak with them. I don't know what's going on. I'm telling you, I'm like Barry. This weekend was a very, very, very stressful weekend because we had, like Barry, my whole family was wiped out with Katrina. Yeah. And then now this time, my dad's side of the family, all of them was almost wiped out. But thank God the water got 50 yards away from all the houses and rescinded. But my aunt lives in Prairieville, and she had to evacuate. So I'm still trying. I'm going to be calling her once we end the show. I just want to say to all the listeners out there in Louisiana that have been impacted again by another flood, another storm, to try to hold your head up and try to find the light in any way that you can. Very, 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 try not to get emotional on this time with y'all. It's just one of these things that you just scratch your head. You say, God, I know some things I have to go through in life, but my goodness, for some people that move further west and north and then this to happen again, I always say life throws you a lot of curves, Barry. A lot of curves get thrown at you, man. I've had a lot of curves thrown at me over over the last 10 years, and it may really stretch you and bend you. But I know the people of Louisiana are resilient, and so it may bend you, stretch you, but don't let it break you, And I'm just praying for everyone down there, and that God will give them strength to be able to overcome this, because it just tore me up this weekend. And sitting there with my family right there on the edge, all of them, my dad included too, because he lives in Baton Rouge. It was just one of them weekends where I'm like, God, I feel like I'm reliving Katrina all over again, and just constantly calling.
Yeah, it's a surreal thing. It's surreal. My high school, Bel Air High School, Baton Rouge, where I graduated, went under. So even my school, my alma mater, wasn't spared of the damage. So it was wide reaching and expansive, and it's just wide. In Denham Springs, Coach alluded to it. 90% of the structure. 90%. Imagine that. A town of, I believe it's 30,000 people. I mean, that was where my dad was. My dad just passed away this past December, and where he was living, flooded. So so even if my dad was still alive right now, I'd be having to go down there and help him recover from a flooded house. So it's just. It's unfathomable. You can't even wrap your mind around it. The devastation and the suffering that people are experiencing. And I guess a lot of us experienced this 10 years ago. So to see people who were in this 10 years ago and then have to repeat it again, it's just mind-boggling. You just can't even imagine the devastation that a person goes through emotionally. Not only have to go through it once and then spend, in my case, took me at least two and a half years to get back on my feet, before I was, okay again, where I was back to where I was before Katrina. So imagine, buying a house, buying a new home, you invest all this, you spend, so much effort and time, putting together your new life and your new home, and then lose it all again. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah. That's what my aunt, that's what I felt. My aunt is near 80 years of age, and I could hear the stress in her voice when she was on the phone with me, and she was getting ready to pack up to leave when she had just gotten the notice that she had to evacuate. And, and I was telling some people up here in Atlanta, you don't know what that's like. If you've never been there, you've never seen it for your own self, and it has not impacted your family, you will just cast it, throw it off. But I try to tell people, other listeners that listen to my voice, you may live in other regions, and you may not have the compassion that me, Barry, Dad, and Kyle have, because be careful how you just haphazardly cast off when people go through natural disasters such as we're dealing with in Louisiana, or the tornadoes in Oklahoma, or the earthquakes in California, or the hurricane in New York, and think it'll never be at your doors. You never know when Mother Nature will, deal you a blow that can wipe away everything that you have.
Yeah, I agree. And because I was here in Houston, and Houston took in a lot of people from New Orleans, and I heard the jeers of go back to Louisiana and some of the wisecracks for some people. But here in Houston, they've been affected by flooding in areas that never have been flooded in their many years. Okay, so yes, Mother Nature can take its turn and hit wherever she chooses and desires to hit. So we must be supportive. We all are in this country. This is our country, the United States of America. So let's be united and care for one another. Okay?
And Kyle, can I say one last thing?
Yes.
I got to say this to the Saints organization after something Barry just stated.
Oh, you and I both. Go ahead.
Okay, New Orleans Saints. Okay, all right. You will not give Kyle credentials, and now you have the audacity not to give Barry credentials also, and you wonder why you're 7-9, and you can't get back to the playoffs, and you can't get back to the Super Bowl. And I am very serious to whoever from the New Orleans Saints that are blocking Barry and Kyle, because we report honestly, and you want us to report or kiss your butts. We're not going to do it. But you wonder why, because these are two of the most honorable men of integrity that I know. But you won't give them credentials. And as far as I'm concerned, Barry is the new Peter Finney and is a great writer. We have Dad, who has most historical information and most knowledge in the game. And then you have Kyle, but you won't give them credentials? Okay. Well, you'll be watching TV just like me when the playoffs come around in 2016 and 17.
Ooh, wow. Okay, well, Coach, he has credentials, so we're just going to live vicariously through you, Coach.
Just to mention that real quick, and Coach, of course, works for Sports NOLA, and he's a legendary high school football coach, so there's no way they're going to deny him press credentials.
If they could, they would.
If they could, they would.
Yeah. In my case, we were told that we're a non-traditional organization, meaning that we're a quote-unquote blog site, even though we're owned by Sports Illustrated and Time Magazine, but I won't even get into that. But they don't issue credentials to quote-unquote non-traditional organizations. So that's the uphill battle I'm facing.
That's a lie.
I got a degree in journalism. I got a degree in communications. Still not good enough. So hey, it is what it is. But I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna keep writing what I do. I'm getting paid pretty decent money to do this, and Big Easy Believer is reaching new heights every day, and I'm proud of what we accomplished, and I'm not going to stop. And if they don't want to issue me credentials, that's on them, because I'm going to keep covering it regardless.
Guys, for years, I have never said anything about this on the air.
Mm-hmm.
I have never. Every year, we've been turned down.
Yeah.
We're in our 7th year with the broadcast. We have 4 shows. Do you hear me? 4 shows that we produce. Right. And we have some outstanding, I believe you guys are the best media consultants that do not get paid by me, that you guys are doing an outstanding job because we love our New Orleans Saints, right?
Yeah, right.
But the problem I have with everything I heard from the front office in the last regime, who the guy was over media and PR.
Yeah, he's gone.
He's gone.
He's gone now.
But the person who took over, he told me this 4 years ago. I don't see original content. I don't know. Is this not considered content? What we're delivering?
It is original content. Well, in my case, I mean, I write an article every day. Sometimes I write 2 or 3 a day.
Exactly.
So, I write sometimes as much as the guys at NOLA.com or the Advocate or whoever are writing, and God forbid, should they give me the credentials where I could actually go see it, with my eyes, because then I'd probably be writing twice as much.
Okay.
I'm relying on secondhand information. I'm relying on beat writers' tweets, basically, because I can't actually be at the facility to watch it. I mean, I gladly hop a plane to West or you got to drive there apparently to West Virginia, and go stay at some 2-bit motel down the road from the Greenbrier. I wouldn't have a problem doing it at all. But if I'm not going to get the credentials, I'm not going to spend my own money that I'm trying to save to go cover a team that doesn't care about me. They could care less. So and then if they want to know why sometimes my articles maybe have a little bit of a negative slant towards them, because maybe if the team treated us a little bit better, I'd probably be more willing to to sugarcoat some stuff, but I'm not going to sugarcoat